see.
Yeah, now we're back to
And it's been a good start by both
top of the
crews,
island.
actually.
Yeah, top of the island there. It's Leander Club up against Saratoga, USA. Leander are just down at this point, or are they? I don't know. They maybe just, as I said, that
Well, I think they had the better start.
yeah, I
and
think
then-
they did.
Saratoga came right back at them.
So there we are.
So this is going to be cat and mouse, isn't it? I think there's just going to be, as you said, they'll be checking each other out. There will be a push within the next 50 metres. I would be surprised if it wasn't Leander that went for it, just to try and get a third of the length. Hold on to that, get a bit of a breather, and then just past the enclosures go again. So we'll see whether that actually happens. But it's very, very close at the moment.
Very
isn't it?
close indeed. So some well-known faces in the Leander quad, including Debbie Flood, and who knows, she might be giving the prize to herself here. At the top of the car park, they have a very slight lead over Saratoga. So they're leaving the car parking area, going now down past what was the old barn, presently offices. There we have a shot of Saratoga, and you could just get a glimpse there on the right hand side of the Leander blades, and there is really not very much in this at all. The Leander crew with Fran Rawlins, Emily Carmichael, Lou Goodham and Debbie Flood. Debbie Flood and Lou Goodham racing earlier today in the double sculls, and here they are now in the quad.
Hugely experienced quad, isn't it?
Well,
And
Debbie
the-
must have been up and down this stretch of river.
Oh my goodness.
God knows how many times. And Lou Goodham initially was down at Upper Thames, now a Leander athlete. Looks like she's giving the calls there. And they're very aware of where their opposition is. And the Saratoga Rowing Association, they're still in touch as they've gone past us. There's still overlap, so if Saratoga have got a sprint, there's still plenty in this.
Well, Leander having to work a bit harder than they thought they might. And they're beginning to work hard here. They got that lead and then thought they'd just sit on them. But Saratoga have really come back at them. And you can just see there that the Leander quad has just had to put the feet down a bit stronger and just to say, no, we're not giving you any more overlap, that's for sure. They're working really hard just to maintain that, what, 3/4 of a length?
Well, when they went past us, it was just about 3/4 of a length. That is possibly a little bit less, so they could be gaining. Now, if they've got a sprint finish here, Leander need to be careful.
So I think Leander have taken it up already, which is quite unusual for them. So they're responding. And let's see what Saratoga have got. So Leander have taken a rate up much higher than Saratoga at the moment. So they've gone for the finish
They have.
already. They're backing their
Yeah,
fitness.
but you can see the rate here in the American crew. That's gone
That's
up.
gone up too.
Here we go.
But I just wonder, I think, if they've got the fitness.
We are on
Wow.
the finish camera here, and it looks to me as
Both
if
speeds of the
Saratoga
Americans.
are really accelerated there. Whoa, our camera is bang on the finish, so you can see when they cross the line. But I tell you
Wow.
what,
What a burst.
I think
What a burst.
that is. I said if they've got a finish, and oh, it's Leander, is it?
Oh my word.
It is. It's Leander Club. Wow. What a brilliant race. They're not 100% sure.
No.
I'm not, but our camera is pretty much on the finish. So check out the results, go online, and here we are with the next race on the course. This is
The elite lightweight quadruple sculls for the Rankin Trophy. This is between Wallingford Rowing Club, kindly sponsored by Fawley Court.
We're bang opposite Fawley Court, and it's looking absolutely splendid. You probably get an image of that, and we're very, very grateful indeed to all of our sponsors And Fawley Court, enjoy seeing your image in these shots. Top of the island, and here we are with Nereus from the Netherlands and Wallingford neck and neck.
It's Wallingford, by the look of things, have they just taken a canvas to a quarter length lead. I think, you know, on that side sometimes it's easier for these coxless boats who are on the buck side. They're steering it might be a bit easier for them, and so you often see them coming out leading at the end of the island, and they're working really, really hard to keep that lead from the Dutch
There
crew.
is a point. The course is straight, and this stretch of river runs north to south. The booms actually at one point get very, very close to the bank, and then the bank moves away. So psychologically, if you're on the Berkshire station and looking from where you've come from, the bank meanders, although the course doesn't. Whereas on this side, all you need to do is stick to the booms.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
Well, it does to me, because there is that. No, it's no use drawing it for me. But there is that kind of bubble at the start, isn't there, at the Berkshire, and that does fool a lot to people, and they head for that kind of gap.
You're a wordsmith, aren't you? There's a bubble. Yeah, you're right. You know, the river gets, the river isn't, or the bank isn't straight. Anyway, we've done that to death. Listen, this is a race, and
Wallingford have really
Wallingford
gone
have done
for it,
well
haven't
here,
they?
yeah.
They've gone for it, and they've pushed hard out of the blocks, maintained that rhythm, and they pushed hard just as they came by Remnant Church there, and the Dutch crew are going to have to go something to get back on course. So they're very fine Wallingford crew indeed. And this is their first race, Martin, of the regatta, because they had a bye straight into the final.
How nice. So let's rock up and demolish the Dutch. And I wouldn't say they're demolishing them, but they're shifting, aren't they? They are doing very, very well. The sculling, I mean, the standard sculling is brilliant, isn't it? Absolutely brilliant. Really, really good.
Have you seen an octuple?
An octuple, yes.
I mean, wouldn't it be wonderful to see two of these crews in the same boat? Because the sculling is so superb.
But apparently the reason they don't do octos or octuples over the age of 14 is because they just move too quick.
I'm sure that's right. And when you're coaching, you often put the juniors in an octuple, actually, because it's less easy, can be done, but less easy to capsize. But they're just like demented caterpillars. And then by the end of about 3 months, to see them all rowing together is fantastic. And I just love this sculling. I mean, I do prefer the power and that gladiatorial feel of the eights, but sculling is just beautiful.
It is. I mean, that is a very, very good display of sculling there, and they're up against a very good crew there in the crew from Nereus. However,
no, it really looks as though they've been absolutely consistent all the way down the course. They've done their pushes where they've timed to do them. They had that great start, and they really can see the Dutch crew where they want them.
Well, the Dutch crew winners of the lightweight quads at Holland Becker.
Well, I'm
impressed with that, aren't you?
Yes, very impressed. And where's that?
Where's Holland Becker? It's
is it near Northwich?
it's in the Netherlands. Now here we go. Wallingford going off there towards the finish, and we're at our finish camera now, and we'll just see them cross the line, but we need to get back down to watch the intermediate club 8s, and there we are. That's Wallingford crossing the finish line, and we have the Invesco Perpetual Challenge Cup intermediate club 8s, Tideway Scullers School, Grovener. Right, the story here was that Tideway Scullers School had a fantastic row. The semi-final, the next semi-final, Grovener, dead heated against Agecroft. They had to have a re-row. hence the reason this race has been pushed back to the penultimate race of the day.
Well, thank you for that information.
It was damn well explained, wasn't it? So, meaning Grovener have had an extra race, and although they have had a bit more time, because they were supposed to be racing, pretty much straight after the lunch break, they've had to go down this course again, dead heats in 8. Wow, and it was a heck of a race, and they overcame Agecroft. Eventually, big ask to come out then in a final. Tideway Scullers, well, they'll be buoyed by the fact that they're racing an opposition who's done one extra race, and as they go halfway down the car parking area here, we can see that they've now got a lead of a couple of lengths. Dead heats, exciting for everybody apart from the people at dead heat.
And it's going to take something out of the legs. Their legs must be pretty weak, I would imagine, because you psychologically get yourself ready for 4 races, don't you? And then when you've got to do an extra one, you think, oh, and you're sitting on the start.
And they were so evenly matched. The re-row against Agecroft, there was not a great deal in it right up until the finish. So could have been Agecroft here. However, it is Grovener.
But I have to say, Grovener have had, that Agecroft semi-final part, they've had a really good regatta.
They've had a great regatta.
They really have. They've raced so well.
Yeah, and whether that's a resurgence or what it is, but there's somebody up there doing some really good stuff. So this is the penultimate race of the day. It is the Intermediate Club 8s for the Invesco Perpetual Challenge Cup, kindly sponsored by Invesco Perpetual, who have supported this regatta for many, many years. And like all of the sponsors, the regatta is extremely grateful, and it enables the regatta to put on an absolutely marvellous international event. As Tideway Scullers go past Fawley Court, brilliant.
I think you're quite right to mention the sponsors, Martin, because these athletes, whilst they train hard and dedicate their time, it's an expensive sport. And without people willing to support it, we wouldn't have these wonderful spectacles, would we?
Well, we were just talking about how many people are now rowing, how many women are rowing, how many junior girls are rowing. The thing is, there needs to be events for them to race at. And second fastest female rowing sport in the United Kingdom. It needs money to put events on, and it's not a cheap sport, but events like this are absolutely wonderful, and without the very kind sponsorship of people who you'll see here on our display, Sharp, Fawley Court, and all of them, Invesco Perpetual, thank you very, very much indeed. So massive plug and a massive thank you to the sponsors. Massive well done to Tideway Scullers School. Commiserations, Grovener, you had a brilliant regatta. So absolutely fantastic. And although you've had to race a couple of times earlier on today, you made the final. But here's Tideway Scullers rowing off here. And we're going to try and get the start in of the next race, which is the Elite 8s for the Ron Needs Challenge Cup. They're aligning that one down at the start as we watch the closing stages of the Tideway Scullers heading towards the finish and some distance ahead of Grovener. Now down at the start, the Elite 8s, the final race of the day, is underway. Now, we're looking forward to a bit of fireworks here. This is Princeton University, United States of America, and a Great Britain crew, which is a composite crew. I'll run through that for you in just a moment, but we have Princeton on the Berkshire side against the Brits, against the GB Composite, who are in the centre there on the Buckinghamshire station.
Within this composite 8, there's some wonderful athletes. In fact, one of them I taught, Catherine Douglas, up in Scotland. She's rowed a few times for Scotland, and she's an amazing athlete and keeping it going, trying to get to break through into the GB. I don't know probably as much about the Princeton 8 as you do, Martin.
Well, they came 6th in the NCAA Grand Final. The crew is also going to compete in the Remenham Challenge Cup at Henley Royal. So like a lot of the Americans, they come over here to do Henley Women's and Henley Royal. They were winners of the Ivy League Championship. So you've got to say they have, that word, a bit of pedigree.
Yeah. And interesting to have a look at the different styles here. If you, as you can see there, if you look at Princeton, they're rating, what, I would say about two strokes per minute more than the British Composite, and you'd expect that at the start, of course, but when they settle, you would normally expect them to bring that rate down, but it's very clear that the British crew are going for very long strokes, and the American crew probably finishing a little earlier than the British crew and getting back down the slide to get the blade in again. It seems to be working for them. What are they? A length and a half up at the moment.
They are indeed, yeah. We saw Princeton win earlier in the day, and unless the Brits, unless the composite can find a bit of a turbocharger here, it looks as if we're going to have a couple of Princeton crews picking up trophies at the end of today. This is the Ron Needs Challenge Cup for Elite 8s, and it's kindly sponsored by Sharp, and there's a very powerful Princeton 8
in that lovely yellow Empacher boat. So they borrowed that from Oxford University, perhaps.
Cambridge, I think.
Is it Cambridge?
Yeah.
And rowing really well, as you'd expect from the elite, and it's the Brits. Really, I don't think they're going to get back at them now.
Well, they're a length down and they're still plugging away, the Brits, so they're in touch as they've gone past us here. It is a length. The Americans are not letting up here.
Well, they're certainly bouncing down the course, aren't they? Really, I don't think they've reduced their rate at all. You know, since from about 100 metres, it's well, not extraordinary, but it's not often you see that. Whereas the British, really quite leisurely.
Yeah.
In comparison.
Yeah. Last race of the regatta, 380 plus a dead heat plus, I don't know, so over 380 races. Everyone televised, and wow, what an absolutely fantastic regatta it's been. And as always, we finish off with the top boat, the Blue Ribbon event, the Elite 8s. And here's Princeton taking it home. All the results available on the website. Look at the results service if you want to see how your crews have got on. Thank you very much indeed for all the comments that you've made. There's the regatta results website. Looking at this race now, it is the GB Composite that trail the Americans now by just over a length.
Yeah, they've dominated this final race in a way that we were rather hoping they wouldn't actually. Thought there might be a bit more of a race in it, but the Brits have upped their rate. They're coming back a little bit, but there's no doubt that Princeton came here to do exactly this. It's a long way to come just for 2 races, and so they've been very determined to have gone back as they have done with the Ron Needs Challenge Cup.
And they've crossed the line there, about a length ahead of the GB Composite. We are heading off to prize giving, and it really just leaves me to say a big thank you to all of the commentary team, to our sponsors, to all of the volunteers, to my technical crew, to my man in the van, and the boys. Well done, you. Henley Women's Regatta, as my friends from Princeton would say, it's been awesome.